IPMNation.com.
This is Nick Ferrero, and you're listening to Local Outbreak on IPMNation.com.
Local Outbreak on IPM Nation. This is Matt from IPM Nation, and we are here at the studio, as we are every Tuesday night we record the show between 6 and 7 p.m. here at the studio at 50 Canal Street in downtown Laconia, New Hampshire. So come on by if you want to check us out one night while we're taping. And we do, of course, we are sponsored by Central NH Events. If you need a DJ for your event, go to centralnhevents.com. Mr. Tim Martin does a great job. And my guest this week is Nick Ferrero. Am I saying your last name correctly?
Ferrero.
Close. I was so close. I should know because you and I used to play in a band together.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
And that is your official stage name currently for your solo project?
Yeah, sure. It's worked for me so far. It's worked for about 25 years, so
Yes.
don't want to change now.
You've played in several bands.
Yeah.
We'll get into all that in a little bit, but this is the first time that I've really talked to you in terms of you being a solo artist.
Yeah, I'm trying it out. I've been, like I said, I've been doing the band thing forever.
Yeah.
And, I love it. I'd probably end up doing a band again at some point, but right now I'm loving doing solo stuff. It's pretty cool to kind of be in control of everything. And
tonight we're going to mix it up a little bit. Of course, you did bring some studio tracks, and you're also going to play live for us, which is very cool. So, and this will certainly be the first time I've ever heard you play live acoustic. So this will be really interesting. So I'm glad you were up for doing the show tonight. This will be very cool. But why don't we get right to a studio track? What do you want to play to open the show?
This one's called Stuck in My Head.
Stuck in My Head. All right. Yeah. This is Stuck in My Head from Nick Ferrero. Ferrero or Ferraro?
Ferrero.
Stuck in My Head from Nick Ferrero here on... I'm just used to you just being Nick.
Right, yep.
Nick, the guitar player. Nick Ferrero here on Local Outbreak on IPM Nation.
Eyes bloodshot and my face is pale. Woke up again in the county jail. Bubba says he ain't gonna make the bail this time. 'Cause I've been drinking that liquor since the break of dawn. And I've been dreaming of a girl who done me wrong. I guess she won when all is said and done. Well, I'll take my time to drink up my wine. Still I couldn't shake the thought of you. But I looked for thrill, so I took some pills. Now I'm stuck in my head with you. With you. She's an Irish gal with a face so sweet. The heart of the devil in the eyes of the sea. Used to get myself in trouble with the law in the name of love. But she left me for another gullible one with a weak heart, soul's life she can rule. Living her well and feeding to her lies. Well, I'll take my time, a drink of my wine. Still I couldn't shake
Local Outbreak on IPM Nation. We're at the studio at 50 Canal Street in downtown Laconia, New Hampshire. Hey, the holidays are coming, so support your local businesses. This is a very, very cool place to do some shopping. Nick has already made a purchase tonight, didn't you?
Oh, I did.
You did, yes. So come here, do your holiday shopping. Support your local businesses, very important. TheStudioNH.com is the website if you want to check it out online. So, Nick, let's go through the history a little bit before we talk about what you're currently doing. So, what was the first band you were in? Let's go through all 19 or 20 bands that you've done. Because it is worth mentioning because you've done a lot of really good stuff. It's not like, you've just played in a bunch of crappy garage bands that never made the stage. I mean, you may have some of those too in your history, but
I think they're all like pretty much crappy garage bands. But
you've done but
they were good crappy garage bands.
Yeah, you've done some legit really good stuff. Yeah. So why don't we go through them, or at least the ones you care to mention?
Well, actually, my first band was a Misfits tribute band.
Yeah,
I was about 16.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. As I feel like, those are one of those bands that people start out with, just power chords and having fun.
Sure.
And then after that, it was a band called Loaded after that. Not Duff McKagan's Loaded, obviously.
Yeah.
But my first original band was called Loaded.
Okay.
And it was we just wanted to be like Motorhead mixed with Kiss, like just those classic bands pretty much.
Yeah.
And but what's funny is like we all really couldn't play our instruments that well, so it was kind of like, it wasn't that good, but for some reason, like, we used to play the high school cafeteria, like the teen center and stuff like that. And people liked it, so or the kids all these young kids liked it.
Yeah.
I had like a string of just bands I would jam with after that, and then I did Shadow Sanctuary with you.
Yeah.
And then I did Dorian Gray after that, which is also I was moving away from punk and more into metal.
Yeah.
And then after Dorian Gray, I started Eclipsion, and that's kind of when my writing started getting more simple, which I guess is maybe kind of segueing into what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
At the same time, though, I was also playing bass for Skullhammer, which I still do play bass for, and we went on tour and everything, and
because just to clarify, and everything else, you play guitar.
Yeah, I play guitar, and I usually sing or backup vocals.
Yeah.
Skullhammer I actually play bass for, but they're a really great local metal band, and Steve is a really cool guy and just phenomenal guitar player and great songwriter, and it's just cool. So I'm doing that, but at the same time I was doing Eclipsion, and then like my writing started getting, I feel like, more simpler, and I was just sort of like kind of getting maybe more to like the roots, but it was still kind of that heavy metal vein.
Sure.
And I did a whole album, and we were doing shows, and the whole thing kind of collapsed, and I didn't even touch music for like almost a year.
No kidding.
Yeah,
really.
I just didn't play, really have any desire to. But then
now why is that? Because different people kind of put it aside for different reasons. Now in your case, what was it? Was it because of what happened with Eclipsion? You just kind of felt? Did you feel kind of discouraged or?
Yeah, a little bit. I started just I felt like I was doing the same thing over and over again. It was like I'd spend, a few months in a metal band, and then we, put our heart, blood, sweat, and tears into it, and it would just collapse.
Yeah.
And one thing about the metal and punk scene is that it's very, very picky.
Sure.
And which is fine, but it's, people are very specific about what they like or what they want to hear, and a lot of times if you try to stray from the path a little bit, people don't really like it. They get kind of standoffish about it, I guess.
Yeah.
And so it's like, like I said, I was, me and, the other guys were like putting our, just our everything we had into it. Just wasn't working out. And then, so people were just kind of dropping left and right. I tried to keep a lineup going.
Yeah.
So pretty much one day I was just like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like I was just so frustrated, I put it away. So I, took a long break from music, which kind of sucked. But I needed it, but it was horrible. Like I just didn't have any motivation to touch an instrument.
Yeah.
And then I ended up talking to someone, and they were saying like, well, go back, like what were you listening to, and what did you like before you even discovered like those early metal bands like Maiden and stuff like that? And I was like, well, my father was playing like Bruce Springsteen, even some Bowie out here, Johnny Cash, you know.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the American, just kind of, music. So I kind of started like locking into that again. I'd be like, okay, these are the real guys that when I was young, like really, really little, struck that nerve.
Sure.
Kind of. And then, I started kind of, re-looking at like Neil Young and stuff like that. And my brother, who actually plays in more of like a country rock kind of Americana band, started showing me guys like Lucero and Murder by Death, and it was definitely just different, you know.
Yeah.
So
do I know your brother? Have I met your brother?
You might have briefly.
Okay.
You may have very briefly met him. He plays bass in a band called Dress for the Occasion.
Oh, okay.
They're phenomenal. They've hooked me up with gigs and everything.
Oh, no kidding. Cool.
But then kind of the
they have a cool name too. I dig the name. Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess kind of the point that it got to was when I heard when I was 18 this guy Tim Barry, who was actually in a metal band and in a punk band, did all that stuff, dropped everything and started doing solo acoustic.
Yeah.
And I heard him when I was like 18. I was like, didn't really think much of it because I was still into the whole metal and punk thing. And I kind of rediscovered him, and it just blew my mind that this guy could just, he's so honest with his lyrics, and he still has that aggression, I guess, in his writing, but he doesn't have a band behind him. It's just him with a guitar, just singing his heart out, and just he has that the feeling kind of behind it,
Yeah.
And he kind of made me realize that you don't, just because it's an acoustic guitar doesn't mean it has to be mellow. You can give it an edge, and you can really just you can blow people's heads off just with the just hammering on a guitar.
Right.
And so it really kind of inspired me. So I tried it out, and I'm liking it. So then I got into the studio and working on the album, and here we are. So
yeah. Had you thought about going this route when you were still playing in all these bands? Had it ever occurred to you that you might want to do this, or was it more like he specifically inspired you to try it?
It was kind of, it's kind of the back of my head. Like I knew a few covers on, acoustic guitar. Actually, one of the songs in the album I wrote when I was 18.
No kidding.
And I never recorded it, but I, recorded it for this album.
Yeah.
So just, kind of goofed around with it, but it was just like a whatever kind of deal. It was like, I put an acoustic at a campfire and do a Simon & Garfunkel cover,
Yeah.
But people always liked it. It's fun. It's just, I don't want to say it's easy in the sense of like, it's, like being lazy, but it's easy in the sense of just, it's simplicity, I guess.
Sure.
It's just a simple way to get your music out there and to, let people enjoy music.
Right.
So,
and when it's just you, I've always been a little bit envious of guys like you who can do this, because me, like, I could never do that. Like I'm a bass player, and I can't play guitar, and I can't really sing particularly well. I can harmonize.
I can't sing well either, man.
No, you're better than you're very humble. But I always thought when we played in Shadow Sanctuary together, I always thought you were. Because you would do backup vocals on some of the tunes. And I always thought you were a better singer than you got credit for, because there's a certain individual who would kind of critique you a bit.
Yeah.
And we all love Bushy, but no, but Bushy from now it's Shadow Links is the current band, and I love Bushy, phenomenal person.
Right. Well, we're very different singers. He's that powerhouse,
Right. Oh, he's a great singer.
He's a powerhouse, and I'm a little bit more like,
you
lower baritone,
right?
Just like
bluesier. But for what you were doing for that style that you were bringing to your backing vocals, I always thought was really good.
Right.
He's really good technically, but that doesn't mean that you're any less good at your approach, which I also really like.
But keep in mind that when I say like I don't think I'm that great of a singer, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, music's music. Music's for everyone.
Right.
You know. And it's like, I actually just saw a thing on Facebook and I actually shared it. It was like, I don't know if it's really a quote from Beethoven, and they said it was, because it's the internet. You don't know,
right.
if anything's real or true.
Yeah.
But either way, the quote was it, to play a wrong note is excusable, but to play without passion is inexcusable, or something like that. And in fact, I think that's totally true,
Yeah.
And you look at, you can look at guys like, take a guy like Neil Young. He's not like the best singer. Or actually better, Bob Dylan.
Right.
A lot of people really hate his voice.
Yeah.
And I'm not a huge fan of Dylan, but the guy's talented.
Oh, absolutely.
He's so talented.
Great songwriter.
Just and he has that passion.
Yeah.
So it's it's just do, I guess, what makes you happy. You know? Doesn't matter if you're really like amazing at it. If you have the passion and you write some good songs.
Right.
Do it.
With Neil Young, I think it's more people. Some people do hate his voice, but there's really his lead guitar playing is very interesting.
Yeah, he's it's weird, man, because every now and then he'll I'll be listening to Neil Young and it's just like, okay, he's sloppy, but his like choice of notes is just great.
Right.
It's he's one of those type guys.
Well, yeah, kind of like, we're both big Kiss fans.
Yeah.
Ace Frehley is an example of that. Sloppy as hell, but it works.
Yeah,
and it's awesome.
yeah. He's got passion.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, why don't we play another track from your disc? I'm sorry. No, for this segment, why don't we? You're going to play live for us, I think.
Yeah, I can
right?
do that if you want.
Cool. And what are you gonna play?
I'll do I got a few songs to pick from.
Putting you on the spot, yeah.
Yeah. I guess I'll do this song's called Same Old Epiphanies.
Okay. And this will be cool for me too personally, because I've never seen you do the solo acoustic thing. So this is cool for me and for the audience. So I'm sorry, what's the name of the song?
Same Old Epiphanies.
Same Old Epiphanies, performed by Nick Ferrero here live on Local Outbreak on IPM Nation here at the studio. Take a listen.
All right.
Summer glow around 6 a.m. like I've always known. Never think much about it, 'cause honestly I'm still half asleep. Yeah, piss and I moan about monotony, but sometimes the sameness is all I need. It grinds me down till I'm grounded, strong and true. And I sing, oh, I know I got new seeds to sow, and there's nothing like tomorrow, a balanced mind, my step in time. Just take some time to live. Now my work day's done and my body's beaten down. I give a friend a ride home across the other side of town. We laugh off the exhaustion, 'cause tomorrow will be the same. And now my hands can't seem to turn into a fist. Maybe 'cause I'm older, overworked, or lost interest in being this dirtbag. 'Cause right now I gotta make ends meet, but I still sing, oh, I know I got new seeds to sow, and there's nothing like tomorrow, a balanced mind, my step in time. Just take some time to live. Now I drink on the stoop, I'm surrounded by good friends. We talk about the old times when the summers had no end. Throw priorities, goals, and paychecks to the wind. And now I live life more simply and a bit more low-key. But there's one thing that I'm sure of, I'll never be. Never lose your dreams, never lose your steam, and never fall completely in line. And sing, oh, I know I got new seeds to sow, and there's nothing like tomorrow, a balanced mind, my step in time. Just take some time to live. Oh, I know, still got nothing like tomorrow. A balanced mind, my step in time. Just take some time to live. Just take some time to live.
Local Outbreak on IPMNation.com. We're here at the studio, as we are every Tuesday evening, recording the show. Yes, the show is not live, but if you want to come down and check it out, we do love to have a studio audience here at the studio at 50 Canal Street in downtown Laconia. Our guest this week is Nick Ferrero. And so in terms of your live, have you done a lot of live shows in this configuration, doing the solo acoustic thing?
I've been trying to do more. I did a lot of just like the open mic things,
Yeah.
to test the water. Actually, might be going tomorrow to the Draft in Concord. A good friend of mine, Mike G, who works at Strings and Things Music in Concord. It's an awesome local shop.
Yeah.
You know, we're all about local business. I'll give
Absolutely.
him a plug.
Absolutely. Yep.
Phenomenal shop. They've been very good to me. They sell great guitars.
I took guitar lessons there when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
I took guitar lessons there when I was a kid too.
Yeah.
And no, they're awesome guys.
Yeah.
And so Mike G, he hosts a open mic at the Draft. It's a really good time, very laid back.
Yeah.
He does every Wednesday there.
So the Draft, is that the place owned by Andy Sanborn? Do you know?
And he's Sanborn or Sandberg?
Sanborn.
I have no idea.
Okay.
No idea. I don't know why I thought Andy Sandberg. It's only yeah.
Definitely not Andy Sandberg.
But yeah, they're a really great guitar shop.
Yeah,
And his
yeah.
open mic's really good too. So I might be down there tomorrow night. I'll see what's going on.
So the first time you ever did that, did the solo acoustic thing in front of people, were you nervous or how'd you feel about it?
I kind of did it on a whim. I was actually at the Green Martini in Concord, which isn't there anymore.
Yeah, burned down.
Yeah. And it was like a little while before that I did my first, open mic.
Yeah.
And it was terrible. Oh, it was awful. I was just bad at it, But I started practicing and, playing for friends and family and then got a little more comfortable with it.
But were you bad at it or
I was terrible at it.
do you just think you were?
No, it was bad. Like,
Really?
I was forgetting lyrics. I was
Really?
because I don't have a band behind me,
Right,
so it's just,
right.
I was like, oh, this will be easy, and that was the thing. Is like that really almost made me respect this whole thing more about doing solo acoustic because I was like, oh, this will be easy, because I've toured, I've opened for different. Fairly big bands and stuff, played in front of a lot of different people, and it's great time. But I was like, this will be a breeze. And no, I gained so much respect for those solo guys because it's like you're exposed. You one wrong move and everyone hears it.
Right.
So, but yeah, it was pretty bad, but it's a good learning experience.
Yeah.
It definitely opened my eyes to it's a whole different world of performing.
But it's definitely easier in other ways too, right? Like if you get offered a show, you don't have to check with 4 other guys.
Well, exactly.
And, all of that.
Yeah, this was a last minute kind of thing. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll go. It's threw my guitar in my truck and came up here.
Yeah.
So it was worked out.
Yeah, absolutely. What are your plans in terms of the future? Are you going to stick with this, or are you thinking about maybe getting back into a band and doing both? Or because I can imagine that because you historically, I mean, you've had instances where you've been playing in more than one band at once, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're always someone who likes to stay busy musically. I know that.
Well, I think for this, I'm in the studio right now, and the tracks you're gonna hear aren't totally finished yet, but they're coming along really great.
Yeah,
and,
we're getting a kind of a sneak peek world premiere, which is cool.
A little bit, yeah,
a
little test run,
yeah.
And also another plug, I'm at Drumlin Down Studios, East Kingston with Brian Sachs, and phenomenal engineer, and
That's a name. That's a name I hear a lot on this show. A lot of people who've worked with him really like him.
Brian's phenomenal, and the tracks that you heard, they're not mixed or anything. There's really not much on them. That's just good mic placement, good gear, and just a talented engineer.
Yeah,
that's really all it is right now, and it's going to be even better once it actually gets gets worked with a bit. And so what you're hearing is just so far is phenomenal. Yeah, as far as the quality goes of the recording.
Sure.
But I think my plan for the future is to keep doing this, release the album. I'm gonna try to step a little tour with it. probably head south. I got some friends in Florida. I got a buddy who's moving out to North Carolina, so just kind of crash with some people.
Yeah.
This guy, a couple guys that I'm going to try to meet up with maybe and just set up as a DIY kind of thing,
Yeah. Yeah.
Just save up some money and just do it because, I love traveling. And then, maybe if a band comes of it, great.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I think these songs, I could probably turn into full band things. And if I meet someone I can collaborate with,
Yeah.
we'll do that.
Is everything that you perform now live? Is it all things that were written specifically for this, or did anything carry over from any of the bands you were in?
Well, a few of the songs, it was all pretty much all fresh new stuff.
Yeah,
but I was briefly one band I forgot to mention. was in last summer. I was briefly in a band with an old buddy from high school and my brother on bass.
Yeah,
and a few of the songs that I wrote, we turned into a full band style thing. And then, I don't know, that was around the time when I was thinking about doing the whole solo thing.
Yeah.
So just a couple of the songs were, but I'd love to get it, going again at some point. It's just finding the right chemistry,
Sure.
the right people.
Yeah.
And, but I think a lot of these songs could lend themselves to a full band.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
What band did you spend the longest amount of time in? Was it Shadow Sanctuary?
At this point, actually, Skullhammer.
Skullhammer, really?
Yeah, I've been at Skull about 2 years now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you were in Shadows for a long time too, though. It seems like before.
Actually, you know what? Maybe
before,
it was
because I was in that band with you, but you were already in the band for a long time before I joined. My tenure was like less than a year, I think, right?
Yeah, it might have been. You know what? It might have been Shadows. I mean, Skullhammer. It's going on. I think I was. Shit, man, I don't know. I think I was like 20. I'm 25 now. We're gonna be 25. I don't know. It's either. I think it might be about the same at this point.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's probably Skullhammer.
Right.
If you get down to within a month bracket, probably.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably Skullhammer.
So in Skullhammer, you said you play bass?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like it? Do you like playing bass? I mean,
yeah, it's fun. It's just know. Well, the cool thing is they're already established. They tour, they record albums. It's pretty much like Steve. It's Steve's baby, pretty much.
Yeah. And
he's been doing this forever. I mean, he had bands in the '90s and stuff that he's kind of known.
Sure.
So, in a lot of ways, he kind of has not only session guys, but he's at that point where he can be like, "Hey, can you play?" People go, "Yeah, I'll definitely play for you."
That's good. Yeah, that's cool.
And he's a really great guy to work with. Just awesome dude.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like a little bit of a local legend.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool being in a band with someone like that, and it's easier on me because then that allows me to focus on what I'm doing. And then he calls you up, and goes, "Hey, we got a show." I could just show up and play.
Yeah, yeah.
And that kind of gets that. That's like my I don't know, my aggression release. If I can do a Skullhammer show because it's just loud, fast. Metal.
Yeah.
And then after that, I go back to my acoustic guitar.
Right.
So. Yeah.
Do you play any other instruments?
I play drums badly.
I thought so. I mean, not the badly part, but I thought I think I've heard you. Have I heard you play drums? I think I have.
I goof off a little.
I think I've heard. I've heard you play drums.
I can keep a beat, but that's about it.
Yeah.
I play a little bit of piano, a couple
no
chords.
Kidding. Yeah.
A couple. Play bass, obviously, pretty decent.
Yeah.
Guitar, obviously, and that's about it.
You're a very, very competent lead guitarist. Your solos in Shadows always just really amazed me. Are you? Did you take? You mentioned you took lessons at Strings.
Yeah.
How long did you take lessons for?
I think about a year. I was 14.
Yeah.
And I took it with Phil Sargent. He's a jazz musician.
Okay.
Awesome guitar player, really cool dude.
Yeah.
And it took about a year. When I first started, I did I started playing guitar. I was 8.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I don't know how long it's been. It's been a while. But
yeah.
I took this guy Doug Clegg who lived in Ware. That was only for a couple months, I think. Just learn the basic chords. And
sure.
Stuff
Sure.
That. So I've really taken that much lessons.
Yeah. Yeah.
For the most part, it's been self-taught.
Yeah.
I'm not a big theory guy. I could never wrap my head around theory.
Oh, dude, I'm with you.
Yeah, I just can't. It's I know like where the notes are in a sense, like, okay, this will sound good if I do this, or this will sound good if I do that, or I can make it sound like happy, or that I can sound sad. Like I do everything like happy, sad, like those. That's like all I know. But I don't know like really what's I know a lot of tricks basically, but I don't know like the theory or anything behind it.
Right. What's the most challenging project that you've done in terms of musically challenging?
Probably Dorian Gray.
Yeah.
One of my old bands. Yeah. That was definitely a little more, some songs were more proggy.
I love the Dorian Gray stuff.
Thanks.
I think we still have those in rotation on the Rock Channel on IPM Nation.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. We're still getting likes on Facebook. That might be the reason why. It's weird. Yeah. That band hasn't been around a long time.
Yeah.
And every now and then, like, a few new people liked you.
Really good stuff.
Yeah. Like, that was a great band.
Yeah.
And, it kind of fell apart. But
no,
it was good. That was probably the most challenging one I've been in though, because that was definitely more like we started doing some weird stuff like rhythms and things like that.
Yeah,
But like I said, I don't know what all that stuff means. So it just took a lot of just me with the drummer. He's like, okay, like get this right. I'm like sitting there trying to like, all right,
yeah.
He's like, and then it's a boom boom pa. Then there's a 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. I'm like, all right, let me just try to hear it. So we have like demo stuff out, like
right.
So
yeah.
But the funny thing about that band, like my role in that band was they were like write the catchy simple stuff. That was kind of my role, and I was mostly rhythm too in that band. So.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because our lead guitar player, this kid he was like 17 and just freaking phenomenal.
No kidding. Yeah.
Oh my god, this guy was insane. I don't know how he did it, but But me and him as a team was great though.
Yeah.
Because I could kind of reel him back in sometimes.
Oh really? Yeah.
But then he could challenge me.
Yeah.
So it worked out really well.
That's very cool. That's very cool. Now everything that you're doing now, is it all self-written? Or have you collaborated with anybody, or is it all stuff that you've written yourself?
The stuff in this album is everything that I've written.
Okay.
It's all me.
Okay. And who inspires you in terms of, we talked about some different people earlier, like Neil Young and Bob Dylan and stuff, but is there anyone who inspires you specifically in terms of lyrics?
Probably Ben Nichols of Lucero.
Yeah.
And Tim Barry.
Yeah.
And Bruce Springsteen. And I'm talking for this project.
Yeah.
Those three are probably the big ones.
Yeah.
So it's that, I guess called like American Dream, American Nightmare, whatever you want to call it,
right.
kind of music. It's just, it's for the average man, I guess, or the average person.
Yeah.
And, just stuff that, a lot of it's just stuff that I'm, whatever I'm feeling at the time. I just try to be honest with this project.
Yeah.
It's not too cerebral. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Well, why don't we play another track from the disc? And by the way, does this have I know it's not out yet because it's not technically finished, but does it have a name for the CD yet, or are you still?
I'm thinking about calling it Same Old Epiphanies, like the song.
Yeah.
And I think I'll probably go with that. So
yeah,
like it'd be like Nick Ferrero, Same Old Epiphanies EP.
Yeah, that's a good name.
Yeah.
Why don't we'll play another track from the disc. What do you want to play?
Which one have you played?
We played the title track to start off, I think, yeah.
Do Don't Ask My Name.
Okay. All right, very cool. So this is Don't Ask My Name from Nick Ferrero here on Local Outbreak on IPM Nation.
Take me for a ride, take me away. Leave this town behind on a magic highway. Cross my fingers tight and count to 10. When I see that state line, I'll know this is the end. Everyone in town, they're afraid of what they'll become. Every girl in town, they'll all know my name. take me way back when. Yes, I was wrong and beat up with the past. It's been far too long. Everyone in town, you know they're afraid of what they'll become. Every girl in town, they'll all know my name. 'Cause I'll be like the rest when I see you in hell. We already there. If I see you round, don't ask for my name. Everyone in town, you know they're afraid of what they'll become. Every girl in town, they'll all know my name. 'Cause I'll be like the rest when I see you in hell. We already there. If I see you round, don't ask for my name. Don't ask for my name. Don't ask for my name.
Local Outbreak on IPM Nation. This is Matt from IPM Nation, and I do want to remind everybody before we wrap up tonight that, of course, we do record the show every Tuesday night at the studio at 50 Canal Street in downtown Laconia, New Hampshire. So come on down. The holidays are pretty much here at this point, so might as well do your holiday shopping here. Funky little gift shop and art gallery. Very, very cool place. TheStudioNH.com is a website if you want to check it out online. And please support your local businesses. Very important. Speaking of which, we are also sponsored by Central NH Events. If you need a DJ for your shindig, your hootenanny, whatever the occasion may be, Tim Martin does a great job. Go to centralnhevents.com. You can hire Tim, centralnhevents.com. And I'll remind you, of course, too, that we do archive all the episodes of Local Outbreak at ipmnation.com/Local Outbreak, going all the way back to the beginning of the show. So all the way back to episode 2. Episode 1 is lost or something. I don't know what happened to episode 1. I just don't know. I wasn't the host then, so I don't really care. And our guest tonight, Nick Ferrero. This has been awesome, Nick. Where should people go online to find you?
Well, that's the weird part.
Yeah.
I'm not good at the whole online thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a band page coming up soon.
Yeah.
If you want to just search for, just Nick Ferrero, Nicholas Ferrero, I think my profile name is like Nicholas Edward F or something. I changed it. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But I think if you search for Nick Ferrero, Nicholas Ferrero in New Hampshire or something, you'll find me.
Yeah.
Also like Nick Ferrero Music at Gmail. There's that one too.
Yeah.
There's no K either. It's NIC Ferrero.
Okay.
I have to mention that. I've never spelt it with a K, and it throws people off.
Yeah, yeah.
So, Nick Ferrero Music, find me on Facebook. He's add me as a friend, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm on Instagram.
Yeah.
Nick Ferrero, NIC, no K, FERRERO. So, track me down, and I'll get a band page or a music page up pretty soon.
Yeah.
So I'll wait till the album's done.
Sure, sure. And you're in the Encyclopedia Metallium. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think a couple bands.
Yeah, because Shadows is in there.
Yeah.
And you must be in there more than once. All the bands you've been in.
Actually, it's kind of funny. It was like one of the biggest double-edged feelings of success I've ever felt was when I realized someone was torrenting my album.
Oh, really?
Someone was
Yeah.
illegally downloading my album, and I was like, yeah.
No
This is-
kidding.
I was so excited. I was like, they're stealing my music. Woohoo.
That's funny.
I was like, in a weird way, they're breaking the law to hear my music. I was like honored.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I really wasn't like upset or offended or anything.
Right. That's funny. Which band was it? Do
It
you
was
remember?
Eclipsion.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, it was totally weird. I like just searched for it, and it was like some like illegal downloading, torrenting website. And my whole the artwork and everything.
Oh, no kidding.
They cut and paste like the bio from the page and put like a bio section.
Yeah.
I didn't even know who it was. I got the profile. I like recognized anything about it. I was just like, oh, like wow.
That's awesome. That's funny.
Yeah,
That's
I
really
was pretty
cool.
happy about that.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, very good. Well, you're going to play for us again tonight. What do you want to play to wrap up the show?
Acoustic.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to do the Noose.
The Noose.
The Noose.
What's this about? I have to ask. There's got to be a story behind this.
This
The Noose.
was I was actually had to move back in with my into my parents' garage at one point.
Yeah.
Which I'm very thankful for.
Yeah.
And it was awesome just to have, a place I can go to. A lot of people don't have that.
Right.
And I was just really struggling looking for work and I wasn't making any money, and I was basically just kind of stuck there. And like, instead of getting like bummed out about not being able to like make money, I just started getting angry at the whole concept of money and the whole concept of just like being, tied to this piece of paper that doesn't
Yeah.
exist really.
Right, right.
It's just this theoretical thing.
It's all digital. It's all ones and zeros now.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that represents something that doesn't exist.
Right,
It's
right.
like there's no assets behind it. There's no,
Right.
There's, it's just nothing.
Yeah.
And I was just pissed off, and I wrote the Noose.
Yeah, yeah, cool. All right, so I look forward to hearing this. So Nick is going to play for us live here at the studio, here on Local Outbreak on IPM Nation. This is live and acoustic Nick Ferrero with The Noose.
I wanna leave this prison, I want to get away and never to look back again. And I know I have to stay and take on this giant with my own two hands. I can't seem to find a reason, can't seem to find the time, can't seem to find the motivation. Too lazy or too much pride. I thought I was different, guess I was wrong. All I'm seeing and all I'm hearing and all I feel is that it's just the way it is. And if I stay here, I'll be a hangman at the noose. So cut me down and let me loose. I'm running out of nothing, nothing's all we need. It's less and less for more and more demand we have to meet. How can we survive in this world of greed? You see, money's just the middleman to what we want and what we need. It's a symbol for a concept, for a feeling of being free. It's a race for survival, and I'm losing speed. And all I'm seeing, and all I'm hearing, and all I feel is that it's just the way it is. And if I stay here, I'll be a hangman at the noose. So cut me down and let me loose. Cut me down and let me loose. Cut me down and let me loose.
IPMNation.com.